Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to After Hours. I'm Bill Whittle, and our guest tonight is somebody who you may not have heard of, but you will be hearing about pretty soon, I suspect. I first heard Austen Fletcher just a couple weeks ago, I guess, on a video he did where he was interviewing people, big left-wing progressives out there protesting at Breitbart headquarters. And it was one of those man-on-the-street interviews that was just really, really, really funny and also extremely informative. We're very, very glad to have him here. His web channel is called Flackus Talks. However, his actual name is Austen Fletcher, and he is joining us here today. Austen, good to have you on the show.
Great to be here, Bill. Thank you for having me.
My absolute pleasure. You seem to be relatively immune from a lot of the stupidity that you go out and cover routinely. Do you think that's because you actually had a job for a while? You were working in Wall Street, right?
I was, yes. I graduated in college in 2012, and I worked for Citigroup in New York right after that for 2 years. And yeah, it was definitely a real job. It was really hard. I had to get there, 5:45 in the morning every day. First one in, last one out.
Imagine.
It was tough, but at the same time, I learned a lot and I developed a lot of skills that I'm finding out here in LA, millennials don't have.
No, nobody. You're absolutely right. And I saw that you were Ivy League, and I thought, oh, that could be bad. Then I realized Ivy League football team, all Ivy, couple of years, right?
2-year all Ivy center, yeah.
Center. Yeah.
Center, yeah.
Okay, so we're dealing with a pretty solid person here, ladies and gentlemen, not somebody who's likely to just panic and flee at the sight of an open jackknife on the table somewhere. I've been saying for a while that these protesters are not serious people. Do they strike you that way?
If you ask them, they're very serious. And the way they present their ideas and thoughts is pretty serious. But when you listen to what they're saying and where the information that they're repeating is coming from, you quickly realize that they don't know what they're talking about. Or it's more of just, hey, let's go out there, sing our songs. Someone will hand me a sign. I'll hold it up.
Yep.
And my questions a lot of times are, hey, what are you here for? And then people will say, oh, I'm here to protest Trump because he hates all people and all animals. And it's like, well, that's everything. So they're out there and they're feeling like they're accomplishing something, but without looking into the facts and, really taking a side, it's really empty arguments.
Did that bother you when you were in school? Did you find that you were getting political messaging in math and biology and all the rest?
I was. I don't think it's as bad as it is now.
Yeah.
But now I'm finding a lot of the people I'm interviewing who are straight out of school, they're coming here and they're so entitled. They think, hey, I graduated, random liberal arts college with an anthropology degree. I'm in $100,000 of student loan debt and I want a job. And I should have a job, and I'm not going to work for just anybody. So it's like, I just don't understand what these people, I don't know where that comes from.
And it's not just the hard things that so many in this generation can't do. There's a lot of them can't do laundry, right? They don't know how to do their laundry. A lot of them don't have a driver's license. And I remember when I was, I got my driver's license on the morning of my 16th birthday because that was freedom and it was independence and it was, all of that. And there just seems to be just fundamental things that a lot of millennials can't tell time they're graduating college, for God's sake.
Yes, exactly. And then they get into these jobs and, they're entry-level jobs, and their whole life they've always been kind of given what they want or, the means to get what they want in a really easy way. So then they get into a job and they don't like their boss, or they don't like how early they have to wake up, or they don't like their responsibilities. They want to work for themselves. They want to be an entrepreneur. But I don't know where that idea comes from because, what have you done to earn that? What have you done to experience things to, make that even a possibility? If you give every millennial their entrepreneurial dreams, it would be chaos. They don't know how to create a schedule. They don't know how to work towards something and achieve a goal because all their goals have been easily achievable because of the environment they grew up in or, came into. So like you said, these people, they go out there, they protest, they think they're doing something. But in reality, they're just kind of like achieving that little check in their mind where, oh, yeah, I'm here, I'm protesting, I posted about it, and I'm spreading awareness, and that's good, I'm doing my job. But realistically, they're, uninformed, spreading propaganda a lot of times, and they're actually dividing the country even more and putting us down a worse path than we would have been if they would just kind of listen up.
I really like that expression you used just a moment ago. They're checking off a box in their head. That's really what it always seemed like to me. This is a generation that hasn't been allowed to compete. They're not allowed to play tag. They're not allowed to keep score in football games or soccer games or baseball games or whatever. And And I think the only thing that they're allowed to do and been encouraged to do by these left-wing professors is protest, right? I mean, that's the only thing that they see as a worthy goal in life is protesting for social justice. And the poor creatures are living in a world where there's so little actual injustice, they kind of have to make up their own injustice.
Exactly. And that's how I think political correctness is exponentially grown in the last few years, especially because these people, their goal is to be as politically correct as possible and call out the social injustice. But when there isn't any, and you don't go outside of the U.S., everything becomes racist, sexist, misogynistic, and people are, they're getting called out for things that aren't even true. And then there's a whole rally behind it, and then that's the truth now. And it's crazy. And I think the mainstream media really coddles the millennials in that they give them all the stories they want. Trump's the worst. Trump's doing this. Trump's going to end the world. And it's the same coddling that their parents gave them. And now, I think the mainstream media assumed Trump would lose to Hillary. But now that Trump's the president, they're kind of stuck with like this narrative they've created, which is, Trump's the worst. And it's going like this with the country. It's just splitting everyone up.